Hey guys, Crab Warrior here. Today I want to talk about FNAF fan games. As most of us know, FNAF fan games have been extremely impactful for the Five Nights at Freddy's community since at least the second game, with super big fan games like Five Nights at Candy's, One Night at Flippies, and The Joy of Creation Reborn getting huge views on YouTube, even big creators like Markiplier playing them. But I also want to talk about games I consider diamonds in the rough. Going to Gamejolt, going under the FNAF tab and sorting by new, you'll find, games. They're definitely playable, but there's some that stick out better than others, let's say that. And I just want to cover them today. I have 3 games in particular that I picked out, and let's just jump right into it with the first game I found called Project Springlock. Project Springlock is undeniably the biggest game I'm covering in this video. It has just over 7,000 views on its Gamejolt page at the time of recording. This game is kinda like a mix between FNAF 3 and FNAF 2. FNAF 2 because you have a flashlight and a mask and a music box, and FNAF 3 because you play audio and The Office kinda reminds me of FNAF 3. Obviously you can also add FNAF 4 as an inspiration for it because it has Fredbear and Spring Body in it. The basic premise of this game is that you're a technician hired to work at a restaurant after Fredbear's Family Diner and after the Bite of 83, but most likely at the same restaurant where the Bite of 83 took place. Obviously, the animatronic characters get a bit quirky at night, and they needed a guard, and that is you! It's a basic FNAF game, it's like a lot of others, but I think where this game really shines is its characters. I only know that 4 can activate. Spring Bonnie, Fredbear, Chipper, and the puppet. There are 2 other animatronics lying in the ground on one of the cameras. I'm not sure if they ever activate because I never got past night 4, but for now let's just talk about the 4 that I know can activate. So first off, Spring Bonnie. He's the first animatronic you face on night 1. He works like Springtrap, and I think like FNAF 2 animatronics, because I believe he can get fended off with the mask, but he will also always go to an audio lure. I'm not sure if the mask fools him, because the only time he got close enough to the office to get me where I would be able to put down the mask, he killed me because I didn't know what I was doing and I got scared. So, yeah. The next animatronic is the puppet. The puppet acts like the puppet in FNAF 2, except you don't wind the music box for this puppet. Instead, you have to let it run all the way down, then you have to click reset. That wouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that this game moves so fast, like I said, with the AIs, that it can be wound out for like 1 or 2 seconds, and the puppet's already out of the box and moving, which feels unfair. And then there's also 2 more animatronics. Fredbear works similarly to a FNAF 2 animatronic the most. He won't follow audio lures, or at least he has less of a chance to than Spring Bonnie. And when he gets to your door, there's 2 things that may happen. Number 1, if he gets to the door and he doesn't make a sound, you have to put on the mask. However, if he gets to the door and you hear a buzzing noise, you have to flash him with a flashlight because he'll see you through the mask somehow. This wouldn't be so bad if it were just those 3 animatronics and maybe 1 more that worked as like a mix between the 2 of them. However, Chipper killed me on night 4, but there was no explanation of how he worked. They just said the audio will not work on him sometimes, the mask will not work on him sometimes, and the flashlight will not work on him sometimes. I thought to myself, oh, that's okay. And then I died because he cut the power to the building and jump scared me. I don't know what I was supposed to do there. I realize I've rambled a little bit too long about the characters. I think I should bring it back in to focus more on the topic of this video, which is these unknown games that I found on the new tab. And I want to make it clear that no matter what I say, even though the last section could have sounded negative, I'm not actually dogging on these games. I'm kind of giving a little bit of criticism, but I think that this game could work very effectively if it's just meant to be a difficult game. But I'm not sure if that's what the creator was going for. I don't know if he meant to make it as difficult as it was, or if maybe I'm just bad. Both could be the case, but either way, I've rambled too long about the characters, which won't happen in the next section. But let me be clear about some things I really like about this game. Number 1, the character models look really good. I really like the environment. I like the implementation of the mask and the flashlight. I personally don't really love the music box though. I've never really liked the music box in FNAF games. It's in a lot of FNAF fan games. It's actually in another one I'm going to be going over later. But I'm just not the biggest fan of those. But that's just a nitpick on my part. Other than this, I think this game is really good and you should check it out. I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below. But now, let's move on to game number 2. That is Crawlspace. Crawlspace was uploaded to Gamejolt on June 11th, 2024 by Gumball Swivel Hands. This game has about 6,000 views on Gamejolt at the time of recording, and I think that's all deserved, and hopefully it gets more in the future. The reason I think it is so big right now, though, is because Daco and Fusion Gamer have both made videos on it. Interestingly, I made a video on this, kind of. I streamed it on my Twitch, and then I uploaded the VOD here, and the creator actually commented on my video, which I thought was really cool, and I thank him for seeing it and commenting on it. I did really enjoy playing this game when I played it on stream. I didn't play it for long, just because it's a little bit repetitive, because, as you can tell, it's like Ultimate Custom Night mixed with FNAF 6. But I think that concept is really cool and does work well. Interestingly, there's no office, so you're always in the cameras and you can always see the vent lines like they had in Ultimate Custom Night. All of the AIs in this game work together really well, and I think that I could do the max mode of this game and it would be fun to do it. It's kind of hectic, but it's not hectic like Ultimate Custom Night. It's hectic in a very fun way. Another super interesting thing about this game is it actually has achievements that unlock stuff on the extras menu. I think that's a really cool touch because it gives players that are completionists like me something to strive for and keep playing. My max on this game is about half of the animatronics on max difficulty, and I think that's pretty good for only playing it for about 30 minutes total. But this was actually the game that inspired me to make this video, because while I was scrolling through Gamejolt, while I was scrolling through the new tab, I was thinking about this video idea and I was like, man, I really want something to pop out to me because most of these games are like either joke games or they're not fully developed. But then I found this one and it was so good compared to all the others on the thing. So I think that it is really a good idea to look through Gamejolt on new and try to find games by small creators. Like I said earlier, the creator commented on my VOD of this, and I really hope that he'll see this video and he'll see it and he'll like it because I really like his game. And I hope that he continues making stuff like this. So yeah, this is a shorter section than the last one, but it's because I don't want to go through all the characters. And there's one more game I find a little bit more interesting, and it's also a lot smaller, and I really want to spend a lot of time talking about it. And that game is Five Nights at Flippies. Five Nights at Flippies was uploaded to Gamejolt on June 6, 2024, I believe, by Cool Guy 15. At the time of recording, it only has about 700 views. I think it deserves a lot more. For starters, I want to go over its backstory, because I find it super interesting. This game is a remaster of a game the creator made on Scratch several years ago. And for a remake, this game looks super good. The 3D modeling is really nice. However, I have one complaint that I want to state off the bat. Flippy's design is not very good. It's not very good for a thumbnail. I think any of the other characters would do better as a headliner for this game. Because I saw this a few times while I was scrolling through the Gamejolt pages, but I never gave it a second thought because I was like, okay, this looks like a joke like all the others. However, when I clicked into the game finally, because it looked like a 3D model, I was like, okay, maybe this is something better. I saw that all the other models looked really good. So I think if the creator just changes the thumbnail for this game, I think it will get a lot more views. But why did I single this one out over the other two games? Well, number one, it has so much passion put into it. The other two do. Do not get me wrong when I say that. The other two have a lot of passion, but this game in specific is a reimagining of a Scratch game the creator probably made when they were still a kid. And I think that's so cool that they reimagined it into something that looks this good and plays this well. I did encounter a few glitches, but overall it was a pretty good run. So far though, I've just yapped about like the backstory of this game and stuff, but let me talk about the game itself real quick. As you can tell, it's super inspired by FNAF 1. I really like that. But let me talk about what happens before the nights first. Every night starts with a minigame. I love that. It's like Five Nights at Candy's 3. That's what it reminds me of the most. It looks like it has very similar graphics to that game. And I think that's really cool. That was the first thing that took me by surprise. I really like that. There is a hidden story in this game, and I also really like that. The characters are all interesting in their own way, instead of just being clones of FNAF 1 characters in movement, not only are the characters that would be Bonnie and Chica, they're reversed. But also, Flippy acts like Freddy, but he can go down either hallway. There's a wolf that acts like Foxy. And fucking Bear 5 is Golden Freddy. I'm not joking. I got killed by Bear 5 tweaking. And, now that I talk about my death, I can talk about how good the jump scares look. Every jump scare is really funny to me. I've seen 3, Flippy, Blue Bear, and Swanna, I think her name is. Swanna chokes you to death. Blue Bear bites a chunk out of your skull. And Flippy chokes you in the air with one arm, throws you to the ground, and steps on you. All those jump scares are really funny to me, and I just needed to say that. That's something I really love. That's another show of how much passion was put into this game. And I wouldn't have found it if I didn't do what I did and went to Gamejolt and sorted by new. Yeah, these are all such sweet passion projects, and that's really why I wanted to show off this video. I wanted to make a video of games people might not know so that you can support these people who make these things just out of the love for these games and the love for the FNAF franchise as a whole. I think a lot of people can appreciate that watch this channel, because my stuff is mainly about Five Nights at Freddy's, so that's probably what you're here for, to see that game. And yeah, if you would check out these games, it would mean so much to me. Also, like and subscribe, it would mean a lot to me too. But yeah, if you get the chance, go to Gamejolt, filter by new, and go look for something. This has been a video on the diamonds in the rough of FNAF fan games. See you guys in the next one. I am out.